Tim, before we let you go, I do want to shift gears to the Dallas Mavericks. We've mentioned them as the Clippers' last opponent. That series shifted from Luka is sensational pretty quick to Luka needs some help. So, Tim, the magic question around Dallas is, how can the Mavericks build around Doncic better, and when can they start doing that this summer?
Well, and let's just be real honest. What this gets down to is, how do the Mavericks solve the Kristaps Porzingis problem? They are positioned to have cap space this summer. Of course, you know, we saw all the stars sign extensions. I think they bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. instead of go big free agency hunting. But the Kristaps Porzingis, Luka Doncic, the chemistry is weird, awkward, I would say. And, you know, it's really difficult they need Porzingis to either be that second star or the ticket to that second star. I don't know how right now you can realistically envision either of those happening. When in the trade market, you understand everybody gets his durability issues. They saw how diminished his mobility was this season. He was a defensive liability, and he's owed over $100 million for the next 3 years.
Ooh. Well, it's such a tall task to sort of navigate, but I will say that I love Tim Hardaway, Jalen Brunson, and Luka Doncic together. I don't know if that's a unit that gets you to a title, but I think when those two guys are shooting the ball well, they complement Luka so much. I mean, I guess it would be easy to compliment Luka because he's just going to put you in a position to score, but I love when they're getting up and down the floor, they're hitting their threes. I also love the emergence of Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't know if there's even another step for him to take in his game in terms of taking on more of the weight, in terms of helping this Mavs team become more of a contender. But in general, I see a missing NBA prototype type guy, 6'9", can create off the bounce, can also shoot the three, and gives you a little bit of defense and crashes the glass. That's the dream kind of player. I don't know exactly who that is, but that's the kind of addition I'd like to see.
Well, we've been talking about would a big star want to play with Luka, and my answer would be yes, of course. Here's a kid who is transcendent. You already know what he's going to turn into. We certainly think he's going to win an MVP at some point. He passes the ball. He seems to be great with his teammates. Does Luka have to actually go out and start recruiting? Because when we hear about how James Harden got to Brooklyn, it was Kevin Durant calling him and talking to him. Obviously, things happened in Houston that made him want to leave there. But there's usually a big star that wants to leave somewhere in the NBA. We've learned that. So what do you think, Monica, Luka should start doing to be a little bit more of an agent in his own team building here, which seems to be how the NBA works right now?
Pretend this is my towel that the guys all use post-game.
Okay.
This is what Luka should be doing.
Right.
He should be, yo, dude, come on, come on. Listen, he's in a great place. It's no secret that Mark Cuban is willing to make his organization attractive. My favorite part about the playoffs overall has been witnessing, literally, the changing of the guard. Luka absolutely is next up. I absolutely would want to play with him. You think about a guy who we all want to see get closer to a title like Dame Lillard. They don't necessarily complement one another, but, man, that would be a ton of star power for sure.
Yeah, I do think that it's somewhat difficult just because Luka doesn't have the Team USA roots. Let's be honest, a lot of these recruiting pitches, they're, you know, either Team USA or they're, you know, hooping together in the summer in LA. They're relationships that have developed, and he doesn't necessarily have those as a kid who grew up in Slovenia and you know, spent his teenage years in Spain.
I do wonder, though, maybe he needs to, you know, I know that he goes home for the summer, and I understand and respect that, but maybe you got to do some of those LA runs or something like that to get those relationships. It is weird that is partly how the NBA works right now, but pretending it doesn't work that way isn't going to get another big star to Dallas. Obviously, you can do the free agent pitches and clear the cap room and do it all sort of just above board the regular way. But the guys aren't tending to be available in the same way. If we look at the free agent class this summer, for example, Tim, as you noted, they're probably better off looking at that list of just re-signing Tim Hardaway Jr. to spend a bunch of money going after one of the guys who's on that list, whose contract will actually be up this summer. Unless Kawhi Leonard decides that he's leaving LA and declining his player option, there's no one really there. The way these guys team up tends to be by those relationships and requests and all of that stuff. I wonder whether Luka is going to find himself at some point having to play that game. And as Tim MacMahon knows, as a Texas resident, no state taxes there, so he could just add that to his pitch as well.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.